So, this is Maddox Buck for Karns Network, and I am here with Coach Christopher Hartsfield for the Karns Beaver Soccer Coach, and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
So, the season has some ups and downs this season. And what are your thoughts on that? And what are the biggest challenges and successes so far?
So I think the biggest challenges that we had this year was just getting a team on the field. We started really late. We didn't really have a coach going into the end of July. I was asked to come on, so I took on that responsibility. We didn't have a lot of girls, really even enough to make a full team. We had a lot of girls on our team that were there. They went out, promoted. We were able to get enough kids to come out and play, and that was a big deal. So that was definitely a challenge to make sure that we were ready to even just have a team to get on the field. Some of the ups have been probably since the beginning of the season, just building this team. You had a few girls that had been here, but we also had a lot of new girls. And so watching them mesh and build relationships has been a really good up for us.
All right. That's great. So going back on the lack of a coach, was there just not enough people that were able to step up to take up that position?
We just had a little bit of turnover, and so we wanted to get some consistency in our program. So that's our move forward at this point.
I get that. So after a tough loss to Powell, the team bounced back with a dominant win against Campbell County. What was your mindset going into that game, and how did you prepare the team for it?
I think our biggest mindset shift was that we were going to continue to focus on the forward. We didn't want to look backwards at what we haven't achieved rather than what we could achieve. So, our mindset was that we were going to take it to Campbell County on the field, and we did exactly that, and we were able to come home with a really good district win.
That's awesome. So, your team, the team tied up against Seymour. What are your thoughts on that game, and what did you learn from it?
And my thoughts on that game were that we are getting better as a team. I've seen a lot of improvement in places that we really needed to improve. Our back line has done a really good job of starting to understand the concept of what we're doing defensively. We got a lot more scoring opportunities that we didn't necessarily take care of, but the opportunities were there where we've been struggling just trying to get some good shots at goal. We were able to do that against Seymour, which was nice. We've moved around our offense a little bit, and so I think we're hopefully going to start seeing a little bit more success offensively.
That's great. So looking at the upcoming schedule, what are your thoughts on the neutral game against Knoxville Central? What do you expect for your opponent in the district game?
Looking at Central, it's a district game, so that's always one that you want to try to get. Our focus again is that we're going to continue to look forward. We're going to go out there tonight, try to take care of business. We match up well with Central, and some of our similar games, they're not just absolutely so far ahead of us that it's not attainable. So we just have to go out there, do what we're supposed to do as a team, stick to our formation and stick to our shape, and I think if we can do that, we have a good chance of getting a W tonight.
All right. That's great. So, Anna Lawson, the player player of the match last year, while player stats have not been available for this season, who are some of the key players that have stepped up and made an impact on the field this season?
So, really right now we're rostered at a good 15 players. Every one of them, I would say, has made a large impact. I mean, just going from 9 players when we started to now having 15, I mean, that's been a big deal. But if I had to go with some individual players, one of the biggest ones that I got to think of is probably Neela Pale. She's a junior, doesn't have any goalie experience up until this year. We were really out of a goalie. We had a goalie here for the last 4 years that was a phenomenal goalie, did a great job, and so we needed to replace that position. And Neela has really stepped up and done a phenomenal job. So, she has absolutely been an impact player. And then if I had to think of some more players, I would probably go with our defensive line. I had 2 girls that haven't played probably for 2 or 3 years, had stepped away from soccer. One of those being Addison Jones. She's a senior, and she has really done a phenomenal job of understanding what we want to accomplish on the back line. And then the other one, a sophomore, Allie Hartsfield, has also done a very good job of just maintaining the back line, just playing solid every night. So those would probably be, you know, without a good back line, you're really in trouble. And so those two girls, considering they just started playing back after about a year or two, have done a phenomenal job of holding down the back line.
All right, that's cool. And I believe that might be all the time that we have today. So thank you for coming on to the show. This is Maddox Buck with Karns Network, and this is with Coach Hartsfield. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, anytime. Hey, go Beavers.